Oh, suck my dick, Jesus Christ. Fuck!
Look at us, still going strong after a little over a month. I'm genuinely surprised I'm still making Black Clover videos, not because the series is bad or anything, it's actually pretty good, but because I have a pretty rare disease called being a lazy bastard. Before we get started, let me know in the comments what series I should do next. We're only like halfway through Black Clover, but I kind of want the next series to be planned sooner rather than later. I'll make a poll or some shit in 2 weeks before we actually do get close to finishing Black Clover just to confirm what we're gonna tackle next.
Walkie slush.
The arc pops off pretty much instantly in the middle of a meeting between Yami, Asta, Finral, Julius, and Charmy. The Diamond Bozos decide they want to go to war. I thought it was kind of sick that the Diamond Dipshits have their own version of the Magic Knights, even if the name Shining Generals is corny as fuck. I gotta say, I can generally see a formula with the way Tabata writes his villains, with this personality where they think they're superior because of royalty or magic or whatever the fuck. But while that can be a negative for some people, I think it works, and if anything, I'll say that it's realistic because of this specific setting. It also makes the generals easily hateable. Yuno's fight with the general was fun to read and pretty much amazing from start to finish. This is what I want from a Yuno fight, and the Golden Dawn leaders, I think his name's Venegans. World Tree Magic was fucking insane, and I did not expect to see Asta fight at all, which is stupid of me. It's Asta and there's enemies, of fucking course he's gonna fight. It was actually nice to see how happy Yuno is over Asta's achievements. Their dynamic remains one of my favorite things in this series so far. And apparently this name's dude is William Venegans. But anyways, backstory was sad and I enjoyed the weird relationship he has with Yami, though I'm not really fully convinced he's not evil yet, and I feel like eventually he'll be evil or some shit. We also see Finral's brother Langris. I had forgotten his name before this, but yeah, he's here and I hate him. Moving on.
Walkie slush.
We learned that Asta may not be able to use a sword again from the doctor, which was kind of sad, honestly. Like, no shit, he's gonna recover, but it really tugged on my heartstrings. I love that he still wanted to find a way to fight for his dreams and how the Black Bulls wanted to help him, and that panel of him crying was just sad as fuck. It didn't make me teary-eyed or anything, but you know, fuck, it was doing something to me. Vanessa being from a witch country was an interesting curveball. I didn't really expect it. I pretty much just assumed everybody was from Clover Kingdom, but I really liked the witch stuff from jump because I like witches. Finral and Noelle and these characters from a book I haven't read decide to bring Asta to the witch place themselves, and side note, it's gonna be hard to judge these characters from the book because, like I said, I haven't read it, so I can only like them as much as I'm allowed to from reading this arc only. I had a particular love for the art of the witch's forest because I'm a major fantasy fan, so this art really brought me into this aesthetic, and the witch's design was pretty crazy even if she's a super bitch pretty much the entire arc. It did put a smile on my face seeing how ready Finral is to fight now after the underwater arc. The Diamond Dickheads decide to invade another country just to inevitably get their ass kicked, except this time they teamed up with the Midnight Eyebrow Sun dudes because they're so trash they needed help. I shouldn't really say that though because this fucker is a monster from start to finish. And a side note, there's this Halloween color spread that I really like. There's this argument between Asta and Vanessa that I liked a lot, but I can't really explain why since it's pretty normal stuff for Black Clover. I guess I just really like those two interacting no matter what it's about. But what a fucking goon. He was ready to cut his arms off to a bone just to dispel a curse. I mean, I can't explain how much I loved that and how much it makes me love Asta even more. Like, realistically, that would be a horrible idea, but it's such an Asta thing to do. I love it. But the bitchy witch decides to help him because she wants to eventually do some fuck shit, but it allows him to fight and we finally get to see some blood magic, so that was, you know, it was an eye for an eye, I guess. I hated the Diamond Cucklords a little more when we saw out there taking slaves. It's crazy. I didn't think I could hate them anymore, but you know, here we are. Asta and Vanessa fighting together is almost always amazing, plus that mid-air combo was crazy as a spread, and when this fucker starts blocking shit in midair, fuck dude. It's almost like seeing Luffy fight. You literally can't hate it at all for any reason, and after all that crazy shit, he tops it by slashing a spirit in half after its fire talon attack. Oh shit, I almost forgot.
We got some fucking baddies.
Asta prying Fawn about why she's angry was a good character mode for him and really shows off his maturity, even if it doesn't really work and he has to go back to beating her ass. She whipped out that third eye pretty fucking fast, honestly, but it was pretty wild how it affects her spirit. Like, no shit it does, but it's still insane to watch it happen, or well, read it happen. There was so much going on that I nearly forgot Noelle was here at all. Yeah, I know it's a sin, I'm sorry. It's amazing character writing for her to still be struggling with the torment from her siblings, but actively trying to overcome it little by little. It adds some realism to her trauma. Asta's bull thrust was another incredible double page spread and is my new favorite in the series, and the teacher guy's fight was pretty cool. I like seeing what a high level wind user can do because it makes me even more excited to see another Yuno fight. We're starting to learn the full extent of the Diamond Punk Ass's experiments and how aggressive they are. It kind of makes you wonder how things are like on their home turf because honestly they can't always act like this, right? All the villains here are solid, but Ladros specifically is a great villain because I fucking hate him. Once the two main fights collide, the arc just does not stop for even a second. Mars, who apparently defected from the generals to help fight Ladros, apparently knows Fawn, which I thought was pretty confusing because I thought she was with Lich, but it turns out the eye on her big ass forehead helps control her in some way. We learn more about it later, so I'll touch on that in a bit. And Asta gives another one of his classic motivational speeches, and he and Mars end up fighting together against Vaughn. Well, not really fighting, but you know, just charging at her. Those two charging into the fire though was fucking incredible, and it reminded me a lot of Logan charging at Jean while his body is dying at the end of the third X-Men movie, I think. The Black Bull's not moving an inch because of how much they believe in Asta gave me chills. Like literally as I was reading it in my bed last night, I was just chilling it up or whatever. I don't know what that means, but you know, you get the point. I just really like the faith they all have in each other. It adds a lot of heart to this team. And I know for a fact Tabata put his whole body, soul, and blood into the art for this arc. I mean, look at this and this. Fawn's hug with Mars is pretty sweet when all is said and done, and this ending was fine, but this motherfucker turns out to be alive. Like, bro just couldn't fucking stay down. It was funny as shit though that Asta just straight up told this motherfucker no. Like, even he was fucking shook. The first 3/4 of Asta versus Ladros isn't really the most choreographed or bombastic. That's a new word I just learned, by the way. But I think the symbolism and ideals behind it is well done enough to kind of excuse that. Asta and Ladros are essentially given the same shit stick at birth, even though Asta's has a little more extra shit on it. Both are in the process of rising higher than they thought they could initially, and the way they went about it is pretty much the exact opposite. So this fight is more of a clash of ideals than a real fight, to be honest, and I really like that. It's a nice change of pace. But towards the last quarter of the fight, where Ladros really just started kicking Asta's ass, I started to think to myself, God, won't this asshole just fucking die, right? And then we get
a fucking demon form.
I knew Asta had a form like this because it's pretty much impossible to not see it. I mean, they put it all over fucking YouTube thumbnails at this point, but I did not know when it would happen, and fuck, I'm so happy it was now. The strawberry fuck cherries on top is that our boy bitched a fucking demon. God, I was losing my shit when we see how cool he looks too. Like, that panel of him in half demon form is my new favorite panel in the series so far. Ladros pretty much soils himself as soon as he sees it, and Tabata shows off some of his best art with Asta blasting through a fucking beam just to take this bum down. Like, Jesus fuck, chapter 97 is so fucking good. Like, it's a top 5 chapter by far, and I won't let anyone argue with me on that. Like, I don't think you can even argue that this is not a top 5 chapter. Well, I haven't caught up yet though, so we'll see if it remains to be that. The bait and switch with Asta maybe or maybe not being in control was funny, but I was a little annoyed they were about to forgive Ladros. Like, I get it's a shonen and he just broke his jewel, so he's fine now, but come on, really? That whole victory scene doesn't last for even a second though, because the witch shows up to be a super fucking bitch again. Like, she basically traps everyone and wants to make Asta her new weapon, quote unquote, and kill his friends, you know, whole ass bitch things. But then Vanessa unlocks this destiny thing that the witch was complaining about for about a few pages throughout this arc, and we see more of her backstory. It was crazy to think that I could somehow like Vanessa more, but you know, here we are. Like, she's such a good fucking character, it's crazy. Her destiny thing is a cat, and you know, yeah, that's a thing. I have like zero idea how that works. I believe it works in the same way Golden Experience Requiem works, just not as OP. But all that really matters is that she stops the witch and things start to wrap up. We also finally get some elves lore in this arc, which I thought was pretty interesting. I'm excited to learn more about it and see Lich's reaction to another one of his terrorists being washed, particularly by Asta.
Walkie slush.
Overall, this was a really good ending. Like, I can't really complain about it. I think overall this is a very solid arc. I can't really tell you whether or not I think it's better than the Sea Temple arc, so I'll answer that question in the next video if anyone is actually worried about that. But yeah, this is a really good arc. Like, I loved this arc. I might reread this when I finish Black Clover just because it's that good. To wrap up here though, I think you meant shout out, but a hug was requested, so here's a big ol' hug for Brazil. That's fucking cringy. I actually hugged the mic, so I humiliated myself for that. You're welcome. That's about it though. See ya. The strawberry fuck cherries on I want to do that so bad, but it's fucking hard.